23 was basically about trying to find a fine line between what the audience wants to see versus what the audience needs to see. Uh, the young lady by the last name of Rodriguez um, had found a story that was given to her by her peers. Um, she was the website producer, meaning she basically overseed everything that went over the website, but but the editor had the final word. So typically, the editor and the website producer would sit side by side, so that it's just easier transportation of information. Um, Other than that, they had a very well routine where every morning they would look at every other journalist websites and blogs to see what's important in today or what their competitors are doing, and they will also speak with. Oh, this is the editor. Specifically, he would speak with the um the local what's the word for them? He would speak to the journalists that are out in the world getting the reporters, I should say, yeah. Um, every morning before sitting down and doing everything. But today in particular, the web producer, got very big news about waterboarding, which is a type of torture where uh, you feel like you're drowning, but you're not. You would take a cloth over your face, and they would just pour buckets of water all over, and there's a possibility that you could actually die from drowning with all the water intake. So this was basically exposing that the CIA does torture, uh, and this was a national news. This was something that was big. So she had a story that was so big, and she wanted to put it on the homepage. But the only thing that could be removed was the celebrity one, because that was the only one that was not as important as the other news that is on the homepage. But the editor and the analytics both disagreed, um, because the web analytics itself was saying that that's what people want to see. That's what drives a lot of customers and just people, just traffic in general to their website, which is what they want to see because that brings in more sponsors. The more people to look at the website, the more sponsors. And so he just completely disregarded the idea, and basically that big story kind of just got flushed into everything else and was never really spoke about again. Never was responded to. Nothing. Never. I don't even remember seeing it said that it was even posted. Um, but yeah, so she ended up just leaving and doing her own thing, going to a different website, going to a different company and managing their website, which had nothing to do with journalism. Um, at the end of it all, I personally think, because I personally studied and dabbled a little bit in social media marketing and web analytics, so I know enough to understand. Yeah, that is very important to for web analytics, to know your traffic, to know what people want to see, to know how your audience is. But in a journalism aspect, I also understand that traditionally you give the audience what they need to see, not what they want to see. Uh, but nowadays, people are very picky and very selective. Um, and I remember reading that their website is very organized to the point where they have different categories like sports, so, celebrities, like local news type of things like that. So I understand that there are those type of people that would go straight to the sports section and kind of disregard everything else. But I also understand from a marketing standpoint that the homepage is everything because that's what people first see, and a lot of customers or audience would go straight to the homepage and not click on anything else except for those stories that are on the homepage because they want to know what's popular now. Um, so that homepage is very important. So I understand that typically when they go to that homepage and they see everything, they're typically just going to click right on the celebrity stuff because that's what people want to see. But I think there's a, it's also because I don't know what their website looks like, but there's like hundreds of different ways to go about it. And I also can understand that, maybe they just straight up didn't want to revamp the whole website for one story. But if this was a problem that was reoccurring and that every journalist has, then from my understanding, people don't know how to work the internet like we think we do. So I personally would have probably kept that article there, but kept the headline so that if you were interested in the story, you click on the story, but gave it uh, enough space so that the waterboarding story was up there as well. So now you have these different choices, but not overbearing enough that people can't decide because a cluttered website does not produce good traffic. It could produce traffic to the point where you can see them go to the website and immediately leave, not click on anything. Because web analytics is that powerful. You can see what people click on. You can see um, when they even went to the website, how they went to the website. It's very, very detailed nowadays. Versus back in 2008, it wasn't. Uh, and I can understand that's when people start to question and try to find ways to go about it. But that's personally what I would have done. And I completely understand what you went through. But yeah, that was chapter 23.